Hey, good day, everybody. Today I decided to do it outside, so you may hear some noises, some dogs, some pumps, and stuff like that. But every once in a while, it's good to get a different vineyard. And I hope it doesn't take away from the class, especially the dog barking all the way in the back there, which is Thunder, my dog. He so-called believe he is protecting our perimeter. And with that, brothers and sisters, let's go into it. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little joy of mine, I'm gonna let it rise. Oh, this little joy of mine, I'm gonna let it rise. This little joy of mine, I'm gonna let it rise. Let it rise, let it rise, let it rise. One more time, Brooks. This little joy of mine, I'm gonna let it rise. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little joy of mine, I'm gonna let it rise. Let it shine, let it rise, let it shine. All right, brothers and sisters, bow our heads in prayer. Father Yah, we come to you once again today. Come to you in prayer. Come to you with love in our hearts. We come to you with joy in our mind. Father Yah, we come to you with thanks. Dawada Abba, Dawada Kaya, Hab, Dawada Kaya, Kel, Dawada Kaya, Salawam, Dawada Kaya. Kai, Kaya for everything. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this peace. Thank you for this joy. Thank you, Father Yah. Just thank you for everything you've done, you're doing, and you're going to do. Father Yah, we just want to pray and keep in thoughts all those who are in need and without, Father. Touch their hearts, their stomachs, their mind, their wallets, Father. Touch every bit of their health, Father. Heal their bodies, Father. Do all these things according to your will, Abba. Father Yah, we just love you so. We love your son, Mashiach Yahweh Shai, our King, our Savior, our friend, our teacher. Father Yah, we just love him. The water, Mashiach Yahweh Shai, for being all those things for us. All those things for us. Such unworthy people. The water. And with that, Father Yah, I would say, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. All right, today, I'm talking to you about, first, I want to talk to you about the Most High and what he considered what is anger and what is frustration. Uh, when we talking about the Bible, we always talking about uh, in anger. He always say, I was brought kindled to anger. When the Father is talking about he was kindled to anger, he's talking about his wrath. Because when he get I'm sorry, kindled to anger, he acts. But when he warns, that's just a part of his frustration. Now, we have to remember that. In scripture, when it talks about him being kindled to anger, it's about 18 times in the Bible. From Numbers to Deuteronomy to and always end up when he's kindled, he is he's putting his foot down on us, punishing us. So that's his anger. Frustration is warning us. Like I give you Numbers 32 and 13 in an example. And it said, and the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years. Sorry. Until all generations, and he had done evil unto the sight of the Lord, was consumed. Until he was satisfied. So my point is that that you're going to find throughout the Bible when he was kindled anger, excuse me, that punishment followed, a wrath followed. Now, the word kindle, you know, is a Hebrew word for it is yaham. Yaham. They usually say yaham. So it's H3179. It has a root word. It has many root words, but I'm going to give you the definitions of it. You know. Oh, also, let me just read one more verse because uh, there is anger and there's wrath. He's not always giving wrath every time he is angry. So that's important to know too. Sometimes he is haven't met that boiling point yet. So 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 like you got numbers. I read you numbers 32 and 13, and I'm gonna keep on reading. And that the whole land therefore is brimstone and salt and burning, that is not sown, nor buried, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow to Sodom and Gomorrah and Hamah and Sodom, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. So when you think about when he has been kindled into a boiling point, and he's put down his wrath, think about Sodom. Think about those places he destroyed. That is Yah's anger. It's a physical destruction of things most of the time. Now I'm gonna go back to the word Yaham or Yaham, H3179, and it is to be hot. I mean, it's got that border, conceive, to be hot, you know, to become hot, you know. So it also means to be heart of an animal. Like I always tell you, most Hebrew words have multiple meanings. So you always got to take it in content, whatever they read, whatever you're talking about. All that tongue twisted today, you know. But throughout the Bible, the Most High has given countless of warnings, which I call frustrations. You know, you know, to everybody. So he gave you frustrations because he was frustrated with us. He warned us. And he gave us countless warnings of our behavior and what we need to say. And then he gave us anger, which sometimes includes wrath. Most of the time, in fact, when it comes to the Most High. So we can understand that anger doesn't necessarily mean violence all the time, but it can lead to violence through warnings, which is frustration. And why am I talking about this today? Uh, this is important. It is important in today's life. Most people say, "Well, that's common sense." Oh, that's common sense. That's common sense what you're saying. But to what's common sense to me may not be common sense to you. I've learned that through my many years in this life. So you gotta understand the difference between frustration and anger. That's to include in your everyday life. I mean, today, right now, a lot of people cannot distinguish between anger and frustration. So they react or they move a certain direction that they shouldn't go or things they shouldn't do, you know, and that is what becomes a problem. So I'm going to explain to you today into everyday's life. But first, I want to give you a little bit about the word of the Most High's anger and frustration because He created us. That's the connection. He created us as man, and He created the woman. So first, I'm going to give you the definitions of what I believe. Again, they're always an exception to the rule in anything that you do, in anything you speak on, anything you talk about. there's always going to be an exception to the rule. So I am talking in general. I hope people understand that. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and begin. I'm going to explain to you first what is men's anger, and then I'm going to give you my perception of what is women anger. And then in the end, I'm going to tell you why it's important to understand the difference. First, I'm going to start with the man, me being the man. Men anger is this. It's when he's out of control or he has very little control of it. So when a man get angry, it's different. I'm gonna go now later on. You will understand what I mean. He's out of control and he has very little control over. When he reach anger, that is where he at. A lot of times he's pushed to violence because a man, we get angry. It's different. We have to prove ourselves at this point. Our masculinity boils up. So when we get angry, we are more prone to fight. We are more prone to be angry. That angry to be violent. We are because we were created to protect. See, women got to understand that. So God made us different because we got to have that energy that is stored in us that is ready and willing to fight to the death for our family. We have to have that form of anger that we can look past another man's life to take it for our families. So we're made different. We think different. And some people have to be pushed to that point. But a man will reach that point way quicker than a woman. That's what she has to understand. Because it's already in him to be that person, that protector, that lion. Now, he is enraged. Enraged can be throwing things, and slamming things, and running against things. That man is in anger. Recognize that. Because there are steps you have to take. Later on, I'm going to explain. Recognize that. Look past what you're doing and recognize this man is at a boiling point. This man is enraged. This man is at the tip of violence. And the reason why he probably ain't already there is because he knows you, he cares for you. But if he was with a stranger or someone else, he would probably already been there. So he's holding back. Now, some people, like I said, there's all the exception to rules. Some people go to that anger because they have psychological problems. What it is a compression of everything, or it's a buildup, not just what you're talking about then, it's a buildup of many things. But it's still reaching a boiling point, which you need to recognize. Okay, and then another one is, when people say he had rage, that means he sees red. That's what we call it. He sees red. I mean, he ain't active, but he see it. Do you understand what I mean by a man sees red? Sometimes you have to be quiet. And then another one is he has lost his ability because he's so angry to recognize the consequences of what he's about to do. Anger can drive a man to that point. So you have to realize that. So even though it's logically for him not to do this, it's logically he won't do this. If he get angry, he will lose that logic. And losing that logic can be harmful not only to himself, but to you. This is for the women. Now, when a man is frustrated, this is why you got to recognize that. He will warn you of a problem. It may be soft tone, it may be sharp tone, it may be. Stop worrying about the tone in which he warned you about something that bothers him. It simply bothers him. How he expressed that to you in words could be better or could not be better, but look past that. Look at the fact that it simply bothers him. Don't make it about you. Listen to what is bothering him. Second, they may ask you to do something. It may be nice in a way, it may be in a kind way, it may be in a sharp way. Again, he may ask you to do that. Could you please not do this? And it may be in a normal voice, it may be in a medium voice, it may be in a loud voice. It doesn't matter. Listen to what he is saying. Now, later on, you can say, after you have listened and clarified that you understand that what is bothering him, that, and then if y'all agree not to do it again, or you say, okay, I understand that bothering you, clarification is important. Then you can say, maybe you could have said it a little better. And then maybe he'll tell you, I done told you this before. You just wasn't listening. So another way a man could show you his frustration is he will walk away. Let him walk away. Just time that prevents him from getting to that boiling point. Don't yell at him. Don't follow him. Don't be screaming at him. Let him walk away. I know a long time ago when I used to get mad or angry, I would go run. I would just get up, go out the house and go run. People handle things in different ways, but walking away to subside your frustrations from meeting that boiling point, that should be allowable, and that shouldn't be a problem. Because in the whole picture, it saves you harm and it saves him harm to anybody. And the last one about him, man, he may get totally silent, and that's the one you got to be concerned about sometimes. Uh, he may get totally silent, but if you look in his eyes, he'll show you the frustration. If you take the time to stop to look past yourself and you just take the time to look at his eyes, he'll tell you with his eyes he's frustrated. Because when he get quiet like that, really all he's doing is keeping his emotions in check, keeping that boiling point down to a certain position. He don't want to bring it that high. So that's the best way. But in the long term, when he's quiet like that, that boiling point is still rising because he cannot see that you cannot recognize that this is he. Because he probably done told you 3, 4 times. Now he's just tired of telling you. I'm gonna go into that in a little later. Women frustrate. Women anger. Now, a woman anger is different. It can be in control or it can be not. Women are a slight different when they get angry. Uh, Women have more control, believe it or not, men, with their anger than men. When a man reaches that boiling point, he loses way more control. A woman still have a lot more control, and it's the reason being because she has a lot more to lose. She understands that. She is more of a physical uh, threat than he is most of the time. It's just a fact. So she knows, even subconsciously, that she got to maintain some form of control or not. Now, some of them don't have control, but they still, I believe, have more than men. She can push herself to violence. But when a woman puts herself to violence, especially with a man, it's because she feels that the consequences are not going to be against her, or well, how I put it, or she has an advantage. For instance, a woman that violently hits her man is a woman that knows her man will not hit her back. That's just a fact. She done it before. She done got away with it. He walked away. I don't believe a woman should put her hand on a man, and I don't believe a man should put his hands on a woman. But if a woman put her hands on a man, if that man returns it, then so be it. I don't think that man should beat her down to the ground, but I actually don't. I also don't believe that a man should sit there and be beaten up by a woman. Now I understand that women say, "Well, he's a man and he can take it." Because if you went by that theory, you would go by the same theory that women are more emotionally accepted. So if a man emotionally abuse a woman once, he look at it and say, "Well, she should just be able to take it." Not fair either way. Either way, man or woman. Just like putting your hands on a man is not fair. It's like a man putting a hand on a woman is not fair. It's like a man giving a woman emotional abuse is not fair. It's just like a woman giving a man emotional abuse ain't fair. Because a man should be able to take more. Either way, it's not fair. Don't give it if you can't dish it. That's the rule. If you don't have the ability to stand up and fight that man, don't fight that man. Only a fool would do that. Keep your hands to yourself. All parties. Don't care how angry you get. You know. Now another one with women, uh, they can get quiet. But women quiet is very strategic. They may be quiet, but they will still communicate. But it just becomes very small. I mean, a woman knows to have the ability. This is why I say women are smarter than men in a lot of ways. Women have the ability to understand that they must stay in communication because there are still certain needs and wants that they want. Most of the time, it is a selfish uh, uh, thing for the woman, but that comes with survival. Well, what I mean by that is that men. Let me finish with women anger and frustration. Then I'm gonna break down why it's the difference between a man and a woman, why they see it differently. Okay, and also women will have a anger and they have a plan in their anger. They not only anger, they will store that anger and they'll put it on the shelf and they will use that anger for future pain towards the person that harmed them. They're very good at that. So women are better at it. And don't get me wrong, they had hundreds of years of practice. That's the thing. And I'm gonna explain that right now. Again, what I was telling you about, men are designed for war. We are the protectors. We protect our wives to go to war, you know. And I know a lot of you gonna say, "Oh, women are going to war too." There's an exception, okay? I was in the military for 20 years. I know how it works. So please don't put any comments down there about what men do in the war and what women. I'm there for 20 years. So my point is this: men were made different, and they were meant to take that sword and take that shield and go out there and fight. That is what they were doing to avoid those emotions, take them away, to go out there and fight. So when they build that anger up camaraderie, or they partner just they one of their fellow soldiers died. That gave them that boost. That gave them that strength to go out and fight for more, the revenge at that moment, at that time. That's how men are. But most men ain't gonna carry that after the battlefield. But when they hit that battlefield, they can resurface it back. Now, why I'm saying that is different than women. Women were the prize of war. If that man knew that if he lost that battle, his wife, his kids will be taken into the arms of the enemy, and the enemy will enslave them. Now, this is where the women anger come in at. Although those men were slaved by their husbands were slaved by the ones that conquered them, they understood they still had a responsibility for their children. They can't kill that new slave owner who most likely are responsible for killing their child's husband. They understood that they had to learn how to subdue that anger. Now they may have tried to hurt him in many ways, that enemy, or they looked to see and plan and strategize opportunities to do that. And even so, they even raised the children to remember who killed their father. And these people are still their enemy, at least the first generation. And one day, maybe you, if it's a son, can take vengeance for our father. See, this is the difference. So women had to learn through thousands of years to subdue. And that trait has passed on to harness that energy, that anger, once they had it. And they had to take that anger and they had to learn how to use it to their advantage. And that is what they do today. So remember that, man. You have to pay attention. They use that anger for their advantage. Now, frustrated. If a woman is frustrated, they will complain about something, a reoccurring complain about it. Men, that's what they do. They feel that that's the only way they can reach it. They tell you, a complaint is telling you. If they complain about it more than once, that means you're simply not listening. You can't no longer blame it. I always used to tell my wife, if I complain about something more than once, that means somebody's not listening. Because if you do as I ask and say, oh, if you agree not to do it no more and you do it again and I complain, oh, why you complain? I wouldn't say anything if you don't do it again. Therefore, you wouldn't receive the complaint. So it sounds like it's more on you than the complainer. If you've been warned, if you've been told. I'm going to continue. Women will make sly noises and moans and groans and even movements when they're frustrated about something, when they're doing something that frustrates them, that you've done. I mean, you could be picking up a glass from the table, they'll pick it up in a way where you hear them do it. Or, they make noises. That means what you're doing, they either talk to you about it and they're frustrated. Now, you can go in the room and say, I left that cup there, I'm sorry, and then they'll feel better. But even so, if you keep doing it, they're going to think you're not listening or you don't care. I'm going to go into that. Remember, anger does not always mean violence, and frustration does not always mean words. I'm going to repeat that. Remember, anger does not always mean violence, and frustration does not always mean words. So we got to get that in our system to understand when we're dealing with our brother and our sisters, our spouses, our friends. We got to remember these type of things. We got to try not to frustrate them. We got to try not to bring them to a boiling point, to anger, to well it's uncontrollable, or it gets almost at that point. Because it's not good for anybody. So it's important that you don't frustrate people to get to that boiling point. Because if they got to that boiling point, that means somebody wasn't listening. Now, how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do that? First thing you do, you talk about the problem. If you believe or you see something that is frustrating him, it shouldn't be. Then you talk about it, and do not. This is very important. Do not tell someone they are angry when they wanting you something, because those words bring spirits. If you keep telling somebody they angry and they ain't angry, that's going to make them angry. Do not assume to know you know what they're feeling. What I mean by that, don't verbally say it out loud. Ask them first. You can say, "Are you angry?" But don't say you're angry. Two different things. Are you? If you have a question, ask. But don't put an emotion on them, because when you push an emotion on somebody, you also trying to push a spirit on them. And that spirit hears you calling. That angry spirit hears you calling. And if I say, "Hey, you're angry," that angry spirit gonna try to come over there and ride him. You call that spirit on him. But if I ask him, "Are you angry?" that spirit gonna stay over there because he's waiting for the answer. He ain't gonna waste his time until the person say his answer. And the person say, "No, I'm not angry." Then that spirit gonna move on. But if you calling it, "You're angry," you pushing that spirit on. Don't push spirits on people. Simply ask. Maybe you're feeling angry. Maybe that's something you're feeling. But don't take that spirit off your back and push it on that person. Recognize the difference between the men and women anger and frustration. That is important. Recognizing the difference from a man anger and a man frustration, a woman anger and a woman's frustration. There's a difference in how you handle each. So you handle those frustrations with a woman differently than you handle them with a man, because you, like, if I'm talking to a man and he's getting real frustrated, I know he's quicker to get to that boiling point with me and wanting to fight, because that's in our nature. We will fight to be more violent, no more physical, way quicker than a woman. So I'm going to handle him, not that I'm afraid, but I'm going to handle the man differently, because I don't want it to get to that point, because I understand him like he should understand me. Now, this is very important. And I'm going to finish here soon, brothers and sisters. This is very important. If you know something that frustrates someone and you still do it, there's only there's only a few reasons that you continue to do so. There is. And you can make excuses and you can lie to yourself and you can say this and you can say that. These are the only reasons. You're going to have to pick one of these four. And then you'll have to resolve it in your head. It benefits you more than it benefits that person's discomfort. So you're doing it because, hey, it benefits you more. Not that it just benefits you more. So you're going to keep doing it, even though you know it frustrates that person, because it's a discomfort to you. The second is you just don't care. You don't care what that person thinks. You don't care what that person wants. You don't care if that person get frustrated, but you will care if that person get angry and get violent. Number three, you don't feel like inside that it's important enough to you, although the person has indicated that it's important enough for them. It's a matter of importance to you. That's it. It ain't complicated. And number three, you're selfish. for me. You're selfish. You don't even give a damn about you. Your feelings, what you think, and what concerns you. You just simply selfish. So you gotta pick one of those things when you frustrate people on purpose. Which one of those reasons why you frustrated? If you frustrating your husband, it's one of those reasons. It benefits you more than a discomfort. You just don't care. You don't feel inside that it's important enough to you, or you're just selfish. One or the other. You pick one. The importance of this class is not to beat up on no one or to talk to anyone. It's about building this unity which we need right now in these last days. Our friendships, our partners, our husbands. I mean, everything right now has to be built, and it has to be built correctly because Masayaki Hawashai is returning, and that home is going to have to be solidified. So it's important that we identify anger from frustration because bringing a man to anger by claiming that he angry, you're calling spirits on him or a woman. And not recognizing a woman's frustration, men, this is for you, not recognizing her frustrations through her expressions and her acts will bring on anger for her. Learn the difference between what men anger is and what men frustration is and women anger is and women's frustration is important. That way you can see the signs. You can fix it before they meet that boiling point. You can fix it before it becomes anger. And why wouldn't you want to do that? With that, brothers and sisters, I want to tell you I love you, and I love you also. Oh, those are my puppies over there. My dog had 6 puppies. My Rockweiler and German Shepherd, what they call Rockwell, Rowlers. Beautiful puppies. They are for sale if you're here in Ghana. Uh, give me a good price. Oh, I'm not buying and selling today. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, yeah. I have puppies. But I love you guys. You guys take care. Uh I just want to say, um, again, I'm sorry for that last. I'm not trying to buy sell. Uh, uh, I am still doing a, college thing for the students, you know, so we can benefit our brothers and sisters, the Israelites, here in Ghana, bringing the two branches back together. Um, and with that, brothers and sisters, I love you. You take care. All praises to the Most High.